All right, I will call the meeting to order at 7:02. Let's just do roll call real quick. Rich Soleo, Selectman.
Mike Burr, Selectman.
Beth Campbell, Selectman.
Thank you. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the July 21st meeting.
Make a motion to
Sorry.
the minutes from the July 21st, 2026 meeting as presented.
I've got a correction, sorry. I was slow to the gun. Under the old business job description reporting coordinator, it says motion was made by Selectman Campbell and seconded by Selectman Burr to approve the job description of the reporting coordinator as presented. Motion carries unanimously. I voted no on that one. Other than that, as amended.
Did you second it or did Rich second it?
Yeah, I was having a little bit of a tissy moment there, so I think you may have seconded. But I don't remember. At one point I said, all right, I'll second it, but I'm not voting for it. I think I may have seconded.
Do you want to table this and have Deb go back to the recording?
No, that's fine.
Or,
I think I did second it, but I know I voted no.
okay.
Okay. So it was 2-1.
Beth, would you please revise your motion?
Sure. I rescind my first motion and I make a motion to accept the July 21st, 2026 Board of Selectmen meeting minutes with the amendment per Selectman Burr.
Okay. I'll second it, but she doesn't have to rescind the first one because there was no second. Right? I don't want you to have to put too much in there.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. One item under new business is the Thomaston Volunteer Ambulance Corps agreement. So I just wanted to bring this back or up to this group. We have an agreement with the ambulance corps, which is quite a bit out of date and past its expiration. I think we need to draft something new. I have communicated to the chief that there are elements of the old agreement that hadn't been followed, which is the reporting of the excess fund. The town did receive a payment from that fund after some conversations, but we have not seen any reporting going back and sort of covering the reporting periods that were missing. So I would like to see those before we go too much further in terms of some revisions. And I know, Beth, you gave me some revisions. Thank you. But before we start, reformulating an agreement, I think we should provide the town that reporting, is my opinion. So, but I'm just giving this board my opinion. If you all want to move forward and start revising things, we can do that too.
No, no, I agree with it. And I'm kind of the one that brought this up because I talked to Tracy and it had been a long time that we actually received a financial update. And I felt a little bit remiss and because in there it says that we can audit the finances at any time and we hadn't gotten any reporting. And we're specifically talking about the insurance billing part of the contract. But I did ask you to check with Rybeck because I think the last contract we had was signed in May 19th of 20 or May 31st of 2019, and it was a 3-year contract. So I couldn't find anything, and neither could Tracy, newer than that. So I don't even think we were getting reporting back, you know, prior to 2022. But I also asked you to check, did you get a chance to check with Attorney Rybeck on once that contract had expired, what were we actually operating under? And does the agreement just become amendable until it's negotiated again, or were we operating for several years without a contract with the ambulance corps? So, did you get a chance to ask him that or no?
I did not, Mike. I apologize. I'm making a note right now.
Yeah, so we probably need to expedite, you know, penning a new contract and get something signed if he says we're not operating with any contract right now.
Okay,
Right.
I will, I'll send him a note.
Yeah. So if it's still the same contract with them, then we have time to request the reporting. If we don't have a contract, I think we better pen one pretty quickly.
Okay, fair
All
enough. Yep.
You were provided some financials, correct?
Yes. So what I was provided was a series of monthly balances. So the balance for the account, but that doesn't tell me what was coming in and what was going out,
Okay.
right?
So
Which is why I went back and said, we just want to see, and it doesn't have to be monthly. It's whatever you can produce in an easy fashion, but it should show here's what that account took in, here's what that account paid out. What were those expenditures for? And here's the balance, right? And again, it doesn't have to be monthly unless it's easier to produce monthly. The Corps should tell us, right?
Yeah, I think the contract was pretty
It said twice a year. I
Twice a
believe
year?
it said, yeah,
yeah.
I think,
which is fine if that's,
I think part of the initial miscommunication was that what the ask was of the chief and not of the commission. So I think that's where there's a lot of, miscommunication going on.
okay. So that's my fault then because she asked me some questions, so I was responding to her. So, I will make
Because
sure.
technically she reports to the commission, right? So they should.
Sometimes I rashly assume things like
Yeah.
she would have communicated that to the commission, but the
Okay.
assume
I
word
think the
is in there.
language does say that the Board of Selectmen can request and can audit the finances at any time.
I read through it too, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have brought it with me, but I don't have it memorized.
Okay, let me start with Attorney Rybeck and see whether we're operating under the old contract on an ongoing basis or we're actually in limbo. And then we will take it from there.
Fine. Mhm.
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll make sure that comes back in the next meeting. Moving to old business. So there's a lot of things on here that, we wanted to carry forward to make sure we were updating, trying to get updates on. Unfortunately, I have some answers to some of these, but not all of them. So I'll just run through. So the first one is Waterbury Water Main. I did send another note to Joe and at at the city of Waterbury. He has no updates. So it is in process from a claim perspective, is what he told me. So
Yeah, are we still involved or is it now between the Railroad Museum and the city of Waterbury? Or
it is between the two. So the railroad has and there's two, there's the two different entities there, but there's also the two different claims. Um, but I do intend to follow up
yeah, I think,
just so it doesn't, they don't get slow rolled or whatever. So
okay.
it's worth me sending them on a monthly basis an email saying, hey, what's going on? So anything else on that? Okay. The Walnut Hill tree removal, I placed a call to True Love, but we're just missing each other and I haven't been able to nail this down uh, with True Love. Again, this is the tree on 85, no, three something. Anyway, on Walnut,
347 or 357, something like
something
that.
like that. Those numbers are too close to also the High Street extension problems. So there was a request to take a tree down. And since we are currently operating without a certified tree warden, we're going to go back to True Love and ask them to take a look at it. True Love is the company that's been doing our servicing, doing our tree trimming. So we'll go back and have them take a look at it. I just need to line up and coordinate a visit over there with them. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Okay. High Street Extension camera work. So we spoke at the last meeting about there's two areas of sort of immediate concern, and then there's the fact that there's quite a section of drainage pipe up there that needs looking at. When we spoke about this last, there were a couple of questions. One was around, who does the traffic control. Um, it is, it has been in the past the case where the PD has allowed either Public Works or WPCA to do their own traffic control, and they're okay with that. This would be the case for that as well. I did send that proposal to Attorney Ryback. He came back with a few questions that he wanted sent back to the company, which we have done, but we have not heard back yet. So we'll go a little deeper once I hear back from Savvy and Sons. So any questions on that?
Nope.
Nystrom's communication tower cell companies have not done anything on this yet, but I will, because my phone doesn't work anywhere near there either. Judson Street drainage pipe, I've started to work on the sort of a RFP for this, for engineering. It's not anywhere near where I need it to be. So I got to figure out how to, I think I'm going to take a different approach to how we draft it. So I don't have anything worth sharing yet. I don't like the way the first one came out. So more to come on that one.
I feel your pain on the RFPs.
Sometimes you saw the one I sent earlier, right?
Yeah.
That, sometimes those things come out perfect and sometimes they don't. So, so the Greenway contracting question. So just a quick update, total Greenway project, which does not include Elm Street. We are still waiting to hear on the Rec Trails grant. There's no update. The only update that I got, which I think I mentioned in the last meeting, but I'll make sure I confirm that here or say it again here. I guess what happened is the Appropriations Committee gave that group more money than they normally get. So they had originally put together a plan on who was going to get what monies, thinking they were going to get the same amount of money they got the prior year, which was not the case. They actually got more money. So they're trying to figure out who's going to get what. So I have not heard anything. I will be at the COG tomorrow morning. I will check in again with Aaron. But at this point, we're still waiting for that Rec Trails grant, which closes the $200,000 gap that we have to get that project going. In the meantime, we started to talk about how do we get going? How do we figure out where to start? And um, Amanda has stepped up to sort of take the lead on that project. She's been working with NVCog, and they have an identified vendor. So I went back to Attorney Rybeck and said, hey, look, the COG has gone out with an RFP for this work. They have gone through a process to identify a vendor. Can we use that vendor? I sent him our purchasing policy, which I reread. And he came back and basically said two things. One, our purchasing policy really sits with this board. So if we decide that that's an acceptable process, we can go ahead and waive that three bid scenario or putting our own RFP out, which I personally support. However, he did say one other thing, which I communicated to Amanda. We have to make sure that all of those funding sources, none of those funding sources require us to go out for an RFP and have three bids. So funding sources, and Mike reminded me of this as well. Every funding source has its own requirements for how you have to go out to bid and so forth. So, it's important that we make sure we follow the requirements of any of those grants or funding sources.
Okay, I do have a question, Rich. In the minutes, it said we're missing about $200,000. That's probably not a good way to word something, right?
That's correct.
But
We have a $200,000 gap due to two reasons.
but we don't owe anybody 200,000.
No.
Just moving forward, we need 200,000.
We need 200,000 to cover everything in the project.
Okay, so nobody's sitting there waiting for us to come up with 200,000 to pay them.
No,
Right. So
No.
this is basically a redesign to get around No Elm Street Greenway, right? We have to redesign that portion somehow?
nope. No, we just won't include that in the scope of the design.
Does it stop at Elm Street?
It stops at Maple.
Stops at Maple Street, so anybody coming from all the way from Washington DC stops at Maple and doesn't go any further, or?
Yeah, well, they're going to stop at Clocktown anyway.
Yeah, all right, okay. Oh, that's good. We'll just have.
No,
We'll have the Greenway terminate in Thomaston, and we'll be the
plenty of restaurants. We got to put a signpost right on Maple that says, here's all the restaurants.
To be continued, the Greenway.
Yep. But I did communicate that to Amanda. She's not able to make it tonight. She's had a death in her family, so more to come. Any questions on that? Okay. I need to add two things to the agenda. So the first one is I would accept a motion to add an item to old business to discuss the replacement of the roof on the back entrance of the town hall.
Okay,
I believe we have discussed this
I make a
before.
motion to add that under. I know you and I have talked about it, but
I'm pretty sure we talked about it here remember when when there was a hole in the roof and it was leaking?
which hole?
Wow.
Yeah, all right. Make a motion to add discussion of the back entrance roof to the agenda under old business.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What is
Motion
the other
carries.
one? You want to just add them both right now?
Sure. The other one is to discuss the memorandum of agreement to provide some interim compensation for the Public Works crew leader.
Okay, I make a motion to add a discussion of a proposed agreement to for the Public Works supervisor or Public Works
He's-
crew leader.
Crew leader.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. So the next item on the agenda is the, to review the roof bids. Sorry, and I didn't share these with you. Give me 1 second, I'll share them. Okay, so. Sorry about that. Should scan those a second here. So in this fiscal year's budget, we, we want to go ahead and replace a portion of the town hall roof. It's the piece, we had a leak in this roof, which actually sits over the vault, Kathy's vault, sorry. I always forget there's 3 vaults. But so we know we have roof work to be done everywhere, but we thought we'd do one piece at a time. There are 3 quotes there, and we are recommending DJ Hall, which was 16,900. You'll see that that quote is not the lowest bidder. City, Mike, what is the other one? City,
You got City Roofing and Siding and Four Seasons Chimney and Roofing.
so there's City Roofing and Siding and Four Seasons. So Four Seasons is not going to use or not able to use the construction techniques that we've asked. They want to just use some felt in a couple areas, which we weren't comfortable with. And you'll see City Roofing is the low bidder. However, they are not going to fix some of the damaged gutters that we have over there. So we had a fairly large ice dam this past winter that damaged the gutter and created a bit of backflow and some other issues. So the reason why we are going with the second lowest bidder is because we want to make sure we do the complete job the way we typically go after these types of roofing things, but also they've agreed to fix the gutter at the same time. This will be paid for out of a capital fund, which is a roofing capital fund. So just to be clear, there's more than one, apparently. I learned this today. There is a separate capital fund that we have been funding for the main part of this building, which is over meeting room 1 where we sit right now. This main piece, we are actually putting money aside on an annual basis to eventually redo that roof. But we have some money left over in another roofing fund that'll allow us to do this back entrance piece. The back entrance piece will also include the 2 segments that are in the courtyard. So there's 2 little overhangs that are in the courtyard that we'll take care of as well.
Okay,
We need to approve the use of that vendor.
I make a motion to approve the contract for the roof repair in the back entrance to DJ Hall Roofing LLC. Not to exceed, you want to use the number they have here? Or you want to put a higher number on it?
No, we use that number.
$16,900.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
But while we're on the subject of roofs, Don't forget- yeah,
saw
don't-
you getting ready to go.
Yeah,
He wants to
yeah,
say,
don't forget the Opera House roof. We need to do something now with the ice jams. And it's leaking. It's done a little bit of damage to part of the cove that we just spent, $1 million to fix. So that needs to be a priority before winter sets in again.
can you and
I
I,
need to get up there and make sure that it's not leaking when it's.
uh,
I just see, was the only change in the name, changed it from Travis,
Mike,
Chromac to,
Mike, can you hold on one
to
second?
Tyler? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, sorry, something's going on with the. Go ahead. I'm sorry. So, I'm sorry, something was just switching back and forth on the Zoom call.
That's
And
okay. And the one you sent, I don't think you understood my question. The one you gave me a copy of had these and then it has nothing referencing Good Friday, Memorial Day, or Fourth of July. Was that supposed to be in there somewhere?
that was a note for me.
Or just a note for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so the only change really from the one you gave me is the name of they changed it from Travis Chromac to Tyler Geddes.
So there's one other change. You have the new one I sent?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing what the difference is from the
Oh,
paper.
so there's a new number 8 that clarifies, makes it more specific. Our legal counsel wanted to be more specific, so he added a section 8 to it, a new section 8, which he felt was a little clearer.
Oh, commencing on and retroactive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Thanks. I don't have any questions. I'll make a motion to approve this memorandum of agreement. This has already been vetted by the Board of Finance, right?
They have so here's where we are with this. So there's a reason why I'm bringing this back to the Board of Selectmen first. This has to be, in order for us to cover him for April, May, and June, this has to get into accounting by the 24th,
Okay,
which means we have to agree, Board of Finance has to agree, so it's on their agenda for next Tuesday. They know this. They have agreed in principle, and they have said, we'll go off and finalize the terms.
okay. I'll make a recommendation that the Board of Selectmen approve the memorandum of agreement with the
Pending Board of Finance.
subject to Board of Finance approval with the crew leader at the Public Works Department.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Beth, any questions
No
or?
question.
Okay.
You're gonna have to wait for public comment to ask that question. Here's a copy if you just want to look at it.
Sorry about that. There's some weird stuff going on with Zoom and the microphone's cutting out. So, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Next on the agenda is the board commission appointments and resignations. We have no resignations in front of us and no appointments. So next on the agenda is the unfortunate task of reading a whole bunch of tax refunds.
How the hell come we got so many all of a sudden?
So somewhere, and I don't have the full answer on this yet because they're still working with our vendor. When we sent the file, so we send this tax file to our vendor, which is called QDS, Quality Data Systems, and they prepare the file that gets uploaded. When we did that, for some reason, some of the vehicles that fall into the older than 20-year category, which has been changed as of, I believe, a year and a half ago to be capped at $500. So if you have a vehicle that's over 20 years old, regardless of its value, if its value is greater than $500, it's capped at 500. So for some of the vehicles in town, that rule was not appropriately applied. So most of what you see here, not all of them, but most of them are for vehicles that fell into that category that were charged a tax rate that was based on a value more than $500, which it should not have been. I think you availed yourself of this somewhere, Mike, didn't you? Didn't you have yours checked?
Oh, mine went from $500 last year to $5,800 this year, so I went the other direction.
Yeah. All right.
But I think that was just punishment for being a wise guy, but they straightened that out.
So they are, so because it's right at that tax time, QDS is super jammed, they're super jammed. So we're gonna go back. We have talked to them, but we're gonna go back and dig into this and make sure it doesn't happen again.
This will be a record for tax refunds.
Okay, hope I pronounced all the names correctly. All right. Make a motion to approve the tax refunds as presented by the tax collector, starting with to William Mutter for
I have a question. Is there a way we can just approve all of these as presented in a bundle, make one motion?
I mean, they're each individual with individual amounts. I don't know. With individual.
I mean, they'll be a part of the minutes. The list will be a part of the minutes, so I don't see why we couldn't just make one motion to approve the tax refunds as presented instead of having poor Beth read them all.
I have
right,
no
go
idea.
ahead, read them.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I thought I was making it easier.
Have we ever done it any other way?
Doesn't mean it's right. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
It'll be a good exercise.
to William Mutter for $57.95. To Elijah Mujaj for $128.97. Angelino DeStasi, $66.66. Mary Halleck, $107.47. Peter Petruzzi, $26.12. Stephen Sheik, $165.02. James Harrison, $100.13. Teresa Caparella, $29.38. Anna Knuckle, $421.48. Nancy Grazika, $55.78. William Munson, $18.23. James Bothroyd and Bridget Mulhall Bothroyd, $59.04. James Bothroyd, $42.71. Grant Perusnik, $33.19. Ronald DeBellis, $70.20. William Clark, $41.35. Ally Financial, $454.11. Mark Beardsley, $36.73. Mark Beardsley, $37. Robert Mashaud, $90.06. Frank and Polly Gangloff, $38.91. David Norton, $30.20. Freddie and Mary Burgess, $125.71. Kathy Joe Bukovicis, $62.85. Robert Bukovicis, $41.08. Robert Bukovicis, $56.59. Kathy Joe Bukovicis, $73.73. Kathy Joe Bukovicis, $36.18. Jonathan Flamaghetti, $16.05. Jonathan Famagletti, $15.78. Judith Famagletti, $109.92. Top Notch Gutter Services, $83.53. Linda Conrad, $57.14.
So it's Linda Corrado.
Corrado, oh,
It
Corrado.
looks like Conrad on,
Thank you, Mike.
I was just following along on the list Deb gave us. I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, and we will pause so Beth can have some water. And then I will send a note to Attorney Ryback and ask him if this is necessary. Sorry. Okay. Next item on the agenda is communications. I don't have any communications to share at the moment. Member comment.
I have nothing. Doing a great job. Thank you.
No comment.
Okay, public comment. We'll take public comment from the room first. And then go online. I see shaking heads with public comment.
We have just one person online.
I think we have one, two. If anyone online would like to make public comment, please take yourself off mute and let us know your question or comment. Hearing none, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Hogged all of them.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, everybody.